This is Devious Dave Rose, professional pariah and all around asshole. And you are tuned in to the greatest, defending, undisputed video game collector on the planet. Casey is Raw.
Guys, this is Casey the Frog again, and today this is Video Game Hunting, episode 102. Just got out of work not too long ago. It's pretty gloomy, it's been raining off and on today. One thing I know I want to talk to you guys about is that the Bam Margera situation, where he's on the run right now. I know I mispronounced his last name, so Bam. So the way he's been acting totally reminds me of Chris Benoit. His last days with Chris Benoit. Like how, when Chris Benoit was losing all his friends, he lost a couple of his best friends, like one by one, the last couple of years of his life, with Eddie, and then one of the guys from Public Enemy was one of his best friends. And then, when he had multiple concussions causing CTE, where he's, as a 40-year-old man, already had enough brain damage that like an 82-year-old Alzheimer's patient with the CTE he had. So I wouldn't doubt, he had rage moments too. Like, obviously, I bet money, like Chris Benoit, something triggered him. And we found out Bam did got triggered recently. He has footage it looks like it was at a restaurant where he was freaking out. So, and days before, he was challenging Johnny Knoxville to a bare knuckle boxing match. So, there's just a lot of similarities with Chris Benoit and Bam Margera. I'm afraid for the guy who's on the run right now. Either one or two things. Actually, a few things. One, they're going to find him pretty soon. I wouldn't doubt that they'll find him, if he's alive, probably inside a week. I mean, how far could he go traveling by foot? Unless he calls someone to come pick him up. But then you're harboring a fugitive. Then if he's driving his car, one of his cars somewhere, like, you can locate him pretty easily, because I know back then he had a Lamborghini and a Hummer. But who says he has that nowadays? He probably has different cars now. So, I wouldn't. And sadly, one of the other options is that he could be dead. Sadly enough. I mean, if the guy's having mental issues, there's potentially he might be dead. And another thing, I'm not sure how rich he is still, but he's very, he's able to leave the country pretty easily. He's been out of the country a lot of times, so there's a chance that he's probably not in America right now. Like, if someone did pick him up, they'd probably drop him off at the airport, maybe fast enough so he just can get out of the country. I mean, he is in Pennsylvania. I mean, how much more do you need to get out before you can get out of the country? So, sadly, I was hoping for him to make a recovery. I mean, kind of like how Steve-O got clean and changed his life. Oh God, what was his, Brandon Novak? He was infamous for his heroin usage, and that guy turned around. I hated that guy so much because he was obviously a drug addict. But the guy turned himself around, and not only he's clean, when you listen to him talk, he's actually a pretty smart guy, pretty intelligent guy. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I actually like Brandon Novak. But I'm happy for those guys because they were able to turn their lives around and they're thinking clearly. While sadly, Bam is just spiraling further and further down. Honestly, he's well known where a lot of this started. He lost Ryan Dunn back in 2011. Crazy story is that the day before it was known that he passed, me and my late wife, we were binge watching a bunch of the Jackass movies. Next day, Ryan Dunn dies. I'm like, what? That was wild. But with Ryan Dunn passing, then he had he was married at the time, and his marriage flopped. So he was divorced, and now he married another woman, but he's been married with this woman for 10 years, and now he's legally separated. I didn't know you can file papers to be legally separated, but I guess you could do that. But his life has been spiraling down ever since the whole Ryan Dunn situation happened. I mean, he was fired from Jackass 4 because he failed a drug test, and obviously can't handle his alcohol and drugs and he's blaming Johnny Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine because, they have 18 drugs that makes him a zombie. I hate to say this, man. I lost my wife due to drugs. I mean, I wish I could have helped her more, but sadly, if you don't want to help yourself, there's no way that someone can help you unless you want to help yourself. And I mean, they showed him going the rehab all the time and him going to Dr. Phil, but does he really want to try to clean himself up, or is he using that for trying to use it for publicity stunts? But there's no one going to be saving you unless you want to be saved. So you need to stop blaming people like Jeff Tremaine, Johnny Knoxville, and Steve-O, and whoever, and even blaming his family, because he is his own worst enemy right now, and I hate to say that. And I'm just speaking from experience, seeing what happened with my wife, and there was drug-related issues in my family. I'm not going to say, and alcohol issues too, but I think that's pretty common in people's, in most families. So, I'm hoping Bam not only be still alive, I'm hoping he's still alive. Hopefully he's going to turn his life around, but right now it's not looking good, because the guy's just, every time you think he's about to turn his life around, he wants to be clean and happy for his wife and kid, and he just seems like it's not working out right now. So I want to talk about that. I'm wondering, maybe I'll talk to the guys about this next week when we will be returning to Wednesday Night Nitro and Friday is Raw. Hopefully it won't be to the point where, hopefully we'll hear that he's alive, not dead. So I'm almost at the game store. I have an idea what I'm kind of looking for, but I'm going to see what's over here. So I'll see you guys in a few.
Boys featuring Conductors.
Alright guys, I just got out of one vintage stock in the video game store. Of course the video game store has something that shocks me. And luckily I had the money. And I'm sure you guys are like, you need to spend your money on the laptop so you can get to better content. You would be correct. But I can't help myself. So I picked up one game, and that was not the game, the thing I was talking about. This system is not very well known, but when I saw it, I knew exactly what it was. I said it out loud, and the guy knew what I was thinking about it. There was a guy getting another console out of the case. I was like, you know what? I'm not taking a chance. I went ahead and got it. I think I paid $250 for the console. But this console kicks the shit out of the Retron 5. Let's just say that. What the Retron 5 is only good for, if it freaking worked, there's a hell lot of Retron 5 issues than I heard about this one. Like, I have two broken Retron 5s. I have one that the power doesn't work. And then I have another one where in the Sega Genesis cartridge, the pin is broken. I was just checking this text real quick. But, oh, sorry. So, what the Retron 5 can do is the Famicom, the Nintendo Famicom, Super Famicom, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and if you had the Game Boy Color, and the Game Boy Advance. That's all in the same port right there for the Game Boy Advance, and Color. And if you didn't have any if you have adapter, you can play the Sega Master System, the Sega Game Gear games, and the Sega Sega cards, whatever they call it. They're like TurboGrafx cards. Well, this system does all that. It has the same adapter that Hyperkin has, where it has the Sega Game Gear Master System and trying to think, in the Sega cards. But this thing also has the TurboGrafx card input and PC Engine card input. So this thing plays the NES, Famicom. I meant to say NES for the other one. Super Famicom, Sega Genesis, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, TurboGrafx, and the PC Engine card games. So this thing kicks the shit out of it just with adding TurboGrafx. I always said if the Retron 5 had an adapter, because there's I think the Polymega is cool too, The problem is it doesn't have all those cartridge slots. The Polymega is a CD drive machine that plays Sega CD, Sega Saturn, PS1 games, Neo Geo Sega CD games. Not Neo Geo AES, Neo Geo CD games. But they have a weird See, to play any cartridge slots on the Polymega, you had to buy these adapters that plays the NES, Super Nintendo, Famicom, Super Nintendo, Super Famicom, Sega Genesis. So, I mean, it's kind of like this thing I'm talking about, but with, with CD game capabilities, but you also had to buy a bunch of these adapters that you switch in and out to play the cartridge games. So, I mean, even though that's cool, but I think those adapters are like $50 plus a piece if you want to play everything. Well, this thing, I can't wait to show you. I'm wondering if you guys have any idea what this video game machine is. I will show you it when I get home, but I'm gonna stop at one more vintage stock. So, I was kind of shocked because I never thought I would get this, because one, I would never plan to order any of this, but I was kind of shocked. I kind of want to show it off, but I want you guys to wait, and I want to get home and show you guys so I can do it, in the collection room. So I'm gonna stop at one more vintage stock, and I'll see you guys if I find anything there. I'll show you. If most likely not, and I'll see you guys when I get home. So I left the other vintage stock. I was about to pick up a Game Gear game, cheap. But I was like, screw it. But I'm planning to go hit the toy store. Just figured, check it out. I hadn't been over there probably well over a month, so I'll show you some footage of that. I'll see you guys. Alright guys, this is actually the next day. I got home, ate something, relaxed for a few minutes, and then me, Frank, Grims, and their buddy Zach, we all played Fortnite for like 3 hours. So, I was planning to do some gameplay after also going to show you guys the pickups. So, I figured show you guys today so I can push this episode out. So, at the video game store, I've been wanting to play this. I never played it except the arcade. I do have the game. Sorry about that. I'm just looking to see if I have it in the box. Yes, I do. This game is a black box for the NES. And it is Popeye on the Famicom. So I'm going to play this version on the Famicom. I was seeing if I had it up in my... right there in my Famicom loose cartridges I have up there in that holder. But no, I didn't. And luckily, the game store, I just looked for a green Famicom cart and bam, found it. So at the toy store I went over, I picked up this Money in the Bank briefcase. It's pretty solid, but it's foam. But I picked it up for $8. Here's what's cool at the toy store as well. The guy who was at the running the shop, he was making game art, and this is it right here. It's Duck Hunt. You can see the guy from Contra. You got Earthworm Jim, Blanca, Donatello, Wolverine, and Homer. So, nice work, guys. I just don't know exactly where I'm gonna put this just yet. Because there was another one with Punch-Out with Little Mac beat down some guy from Dragon Ball Z. But I paid $15 for this, and it's framed too. So that's what's cool. So I like it. So the main event. I'll show you guys this thing. This thing is called the Retro Freak. And you can see how much I paid for it right there. This thing, it has stickers all over the place. Plays TurboGrafx and PC Engine cards right here. This plays right here the Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. It has a few USB inputs. Then up here, I know right here, that's the Famicom. This is Super Famicom. This is where you can plug in your Sega Genesis or Mega Drive games. And it comes with, like, what sucks, this doesn't, you're not able to play NES out of the box, but that's okay. I have a HD system to do that anyways. But you can get a adapter, and I'm thinking about it if I can find one cheap. And what's weird on the back, this where it has the HDMI output that has an SD card, has like a, you can pull it out It's kind of weird. It probably so you can maybe put another adapter or something weird. So, I'll show you one thing. This is for the plug-in for the Sega Genesis. This is their version of the power adapter. You can put this and play your Sega Genesis, your Sega Master System games, Game Gear games, and then your Sega Game Card games. So, pretty badass. But what's weird, get this. I have damn near the exact same thing right here. This one's from the Hyperkin right here. So, it's damn near built the same way. Look at that. The only difference is the top, really. The board's different. This one, the board's white. This is board's green. But interesting. I'll probably now sell this. I don't need two of these. Here was cool. What's interesting? This is where you can play controllers with the retro controllers. Like you can see Super Nintendo. I'm assuming that's for some else right here. I'm not exactly sure right now. Right here you got TurboGrafx input. You got Sega Genesis and NES. So, let's see what cords it came with. Came with the power adapter. HDMI. And I guess this is the cord that plugs into here probably. Yeah, that's what it is. You plug this in, plugs into the Retro Freak, so you could play controllers. And I'm not exactly sure. I think that might be for something like almost like Neo Geo, but I do have a Neo Geo controller on hand, and I heard the same input does fit with the Atari 5200. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. Bam. Nice! Good job, Casey. So look at that. Plugs. Oh, you know what? I can. That's weird. But that is pretty badass. So I'm pretty happy. Probably will be doing a review of that very shortly. I'm gonna try it out. Next game I want to do, honestly, what game? One of the reasons why I bought that is so I can play Game Boy games on there, and one of them is, sorry about that, is to play this game. It's Mother 3. English translation. This came out in Japan. And there's the Mother 3 cart. But this been, translated into English. So, I only played a little bit of this, but I want to play more of Mother 3, do a few series. Sadly, I played one round on the Retron 5, and then my Retron 5 stopped working. So, go figure. So, I'm pretty happy about that. I'm happy to finally pick that thing up. So, I'm definitely going to put that to use. So, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you. Bye.